Now that we're back at the camp, I want to talk about what happened at Redcliffe.
You were there. You saw what happened.
Yes, I know. I've had some time to think about it now. I just wanted to thank you. You went out of your way to save the Isle's family, and you did it. Even though it would have been easier not to. There's been so much death and destruction. Well, it makes me feel good that at least we were able to save something. No matter how small. I owed the Isle that much.
You're welcome. Well, if we can stop the blight, we'll save much more.
You're right. Hopefully,
well, aren't you a ray of sunshine?
Left to say. Good. Now that the warm, fuzzy part of the day is over with, we can get back to the ritual dismemberments.
Yeah,
no way,
yeah, it's not.
Tuesday, is it?
I don't know about for you guys when I upload this, but right now it's not.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
Well, there was Connor.
Ah, yes, Connor, of course. The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
But it is this knowledge that drives you to be cautious.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination. Or, why do you care so much about this anyway?
Because every mage lives with this threat. It is constantly on our minds. Do not trouble yourself, though. This is only an old lady giving voice to her musings.
Yeah, I understand the significance of that conversation, while Hector would not. So.
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack. A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
You ruined them. Does this mean you have to go without? Oh my word. Huh. You ruined them? Does this mean you have to go without?
Maybe, but that is not the point. The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
You heard the lady.
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
I think you hurt his feelings.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
I'd like to talk.
Yes? Well, here I am.
What was life like in the Chantry Cloister?
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
I think I'm going to go with number 2. Yes, they tend to be self-righteous.
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
What did you say to them?
What can I say to them? What they believe is what the Chantry says, and the Chantry is infallible, yes? Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough.
Oh, well, that went nowhere. Hi, Sten. I have a question.
Yes.
Why did you come to Peralta?
To answer a question.
What was the question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
Well, I can see you're right on top of that.
I cannot go home.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Can we move on? We keep
Let's
the
go.
Darkspawn waiting.
Yeah,
As you
Sten.
wish.
I'm surprised though. That I'm really trying my hardest to make sure I'm playing this within character as much as possible. So I don't know if I'm doing as well as I would be if I was completely correct in every single choice. But
If you must.
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she see?
Nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten her into
I've
obedience.
heard a little of it.
No doubt such a tale has mutated much over time and telling. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago is this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife. And Osen agreed.
Flemeth must have been angry.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then.
That was not the point. Conobar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Which she never invaded, or he never defeated her.
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
How is it that Flemeth has survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
I love her. What else do you want to know? See, my mother died when I was born. That's hogwash, because the story has already stated plainly that, hey, this character was taught how to fight by his mother, who died when he was young, sure, but the only reason he knows any type of martial skill is thanks to his mother's training. So to say that she died when he was born is not... It doesn't work. And then there's number 2, there's nothing really to say about her. Obviously, no. That wouldn't work. And I don't think, like, he's going to be rude enough to say something like, keep your curiosity to yourself. So, I love her. Well, what else do you want to know?
Nothing. I wish to know nothing more. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not.
Yes, Morgan, approves and likes the fact that I love my mom. Okay. I'd like to ask you something.
What do you need? Ask away.
Why did you keep your birthright a secret? That's a cheap answer.
All right. If you want the full explanation, I'll give it to you. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then after the battle, when I should have told you, I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that?
How about, by the way, I'm heir to the throne?
Yes, well, I suppose part of me kind of liked you not knowing.
Oh, why? What happens? You enjoyed not telling me.
It's just that anyone who's ever found out has treated me differently afterwards. I was the bastard prince instead of just being Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me.
Don't want to be king? Why not?
Hello? Have you met me? I'm no leader of men. I don't want to be the person sitting on the throne and making decisions that affect the lives of others. It just isn't me. I guess I should be thankful that Arl Eamon is far more likely to inherit the throne. If he's all right. I hope he's all right. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. It was a dumb thing to do.
Don't worry about it, Alistair. No harm done.
I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now.
Doop
Let's
doop
go.
doop. I believe yeah, I talked to Stan. I've talked to every... Yes, I talked to everyone.